What's going on, and welcome back to the Wilson Auto Detailing community, and welcome back to another video slash voiceover. I know some of you guys really like this, and I like this format too because I can get a bunch of information out there in a short period of time, which is awesome. So in this video, I'm detailing one of my, it's not a maintenance client, it's a Yukon, or yeah, I believe it's a Yukon, or a big Suburban, no, it's a Tahoe, a big Suburban, and I'm detailing this car. I've actually seen it a couple times. It's not a maintenance client, but it never gets super dirty. My client here actually has a bunch of kids, but even the inside isn't that bad, surprisingly. So, detailing the wheels, wheel wells, and tires here. I want to talk to you guys about a few things detailing related, video related as far as what I'm doing here, and elsewhere. So, just so you guys know, I am using Extra Tough here. That's what I'm spraying on the sidewall. That's what I'm spraying in the wheel well. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you probably already know what Extra Tough is. I am not going to link up Extra Tough in the video description box below yet. I will later, but I am actually flying down to check out their warehouses and spend the day with the owner because this is a company that I really believe in. It's a product that I really believe in. It's actually the first product that I've really found that I could really get behind with all of my might, and we're going to be talking about kind of my involvement with their company and their business and what that business transaction looks like. And so until we get that nailed down, I'm not putting it in the description box. You can go to my other video. Sorry for my coughing, my allergies are going crazy. You can check out the video that I made titled Best Auto Detailing APC cleaner or something like that I've ever used. Their website is georgiameltech.com. So anyway, I'm not going to put it below. I'm still trying to figure out my involvement with them, and once that gets established, all the money gets established, all the contracts gets established, all that stuff, I'll be pushing it and showing you guys how to buy it more. But yeah, that's kind of the reason behind that. I'm super excited to work with them. Just so you guys know, I'm also using this voiceover to give you guys a quick update about that because I know a lot of you have wondering. But I'm going next week, and just really excited, really grateful, and I just realize how blessed I am to even be able to work with a company like this that has such a great product and has such great I guess integrity behind it. I really value that. So anyway, I'm really excited to get a partnership going with them. So apart from that, I'm also using the Max 2200 pressure washer from AR Blue Clean. It's a great pressure washer. The reason I bought it, I'm sorry, I actually didn't buy it. AR Blue, I reached out to them, they sent it to me, and I did a ton of research as far as what I wanted to upgrade to from the pressure washer I was using, and this was the one I decided because, and they don't pay me to say this or anything like that, but I use this pressure washer because it's so small. That was my main selling point. It's so tiny, it can sit in my passenger seat and take up like no room. It has plenty of pressure, and the GPM, gallons per minute, that it utilizes and sprays is plenty. So that's what you guys see me using here. A quick note, as you can see, I'm not agitating the tire sidewall or the wheel well. Generally speaking, in the detailing world, we spray our degreaser, we scrub, and then we rinse off. I'm not scrubbing here. You could chalk that up to, oh, Luke, the tire's clean, the wheel well's already clean. That's not the case. It's actually because of the Extra Tough I'm using. With this product, I no longer scrub tire sidewalls. That's one of the reasons I love it so much. There are times when I do scrub wheel wells a little bit, but it minimizes the time I have to take scrubbing because it's so effective. So you see, I sprayed it on, I'm letting it sit, and in the meantime, I'm moving on to the back tire here. I'm doing the same thing, spraying it with water, getting all the loose dirt and debris off, spraying the Extra Tough, soaking the tire. This is using it full strength. You don't have to do that. I'm just doing a ton of experimenting with the product because I just want to get to know it more and more and more, even though I've been using it the past 6 months, and I would say I have a pretty healthy understanding, but nonetheless, I never want to stop learning about it. So just doing a lot of experimenting. So you can see I spray it on. Now I'm going to go back to the passenger side tire here, and then I'm going to spray it, okay? And you can see here, this pressure washer I'm using, some of you may be thinking, why are you holding it so close? Aren't you going to damage something? With 2200 psi, I'm really not going to damage anything. Like, yes, you could, in theory, damage the paint at some level, but that is not what's happening here. Again, once you use your tools for a long period of time, you get to know them, you get confident in them, and particularly when you're using it with the wheel well. This is a cloth fabric wheel well, meaning it's got that little like cheap fabric, kind of, I don't know, stapled to it, I guess, or glued to it. And I imagine that's to minimize the amount of noise that you're hearing when you're driving, when it kicks up rocks and stuff. A lot of the higher end, more expensive, newer vehicles have that. That's going to be like across the board with like BMW, Mercedes, and all that sort of stuff. But a lot of times I get asked the question, how do I clean fabric wheel wells? Well, Extra Tough degreaser, and it's actually not just a degreaser, Extra Tough cleaner, and a pressure washer is a fantastic way to do that. Unfortunately, when you try to scrub fabric wheel wells, you can kind of drive yourself nuts because it's kind of like the impossible carpeting where you're just scrubbing, and it's like nothing's happening. The fix, the easy fix, is a high pressurized system of water. And so a pressure washer really does kill it when it comes to this area. So for those of you wondering, that is truthfully how I address them. Now, here I go addressing the wheels. This is interesting, okay? The wheel cleaner I'm using here is not Meguiar's Wheel Brightener. It is a wheel cleaner by, I believe, Automagic, okay? Automagic is not a detailing company, not a car company necessarily. They're like a tools and chemical manufacturer, basically. And they, like a lot of, should I even say this? I don't even know if I should say this. Okay, a lot of like Meguiar's or like Mother's, like if you see like clay bars and stuff, a lot of their clay bars and a lot of their products are actually manufactured by Automagic. And so it's kind of like the private labeling game, which I'm a huge fan of, by the way. I think it's a fantastic business. And it's something I am getting into myself, and I love it. So I'm not saying that in a negative way whatsoever. I mean that in just a, I don't know, transparency kind of way, I guess. This wheel cleaner is amazing. And I believe it's called Automagic's like Magic Wheel Cleaner. I think that's the title, Magic Wheel Cleaner. And I believe it's available on Amazon, and I will hook it up in the YouTube description box. Let me tell you, it is very much worth trying, okay? I am communicating with one of Automagic's representatives right now, and I'm trying to get my hands on more of this cleaner because it's not acidic, but it works 100% just as well as any acidic cleaner I've ever used. And the kicker is it's not bad for your health. So the big downfall with Meguiar's Wheel Brightener, as we know, is it's super effective. Sorry, I'm sipping my coffee as I'm doing this voiceover. It's super effective, and it's bad for your health because it's, what is it, hydrofluoric acid, I believe? I believe it's hydrofluoric acid. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. But the fumes it produces, its long-term effects, it's not good, okay? It's no bueno, all right? And my question is, like, I don't want to have to wear a mask. Like, when you're detailing on a daily basis, like, I'm a guy who knows what it's like to detail on a daily basis. Like, here I am detailing my customer's car out in the hot sun all day, just running ragged. Having to put on a mask is just a big time waster to me. I'm like, I don't want to have to step out and stop what I'm doing and put the mask on and take it off and put it on, take it off. So my point is, I want to think long term as far as health, and I need a cleaner that I'm not going to be breathing in and it's going to be hurting me. So the more I detail, the more long term I think, and as far as health is concerned, yes, that is the big downfall with Meguiar's Wheel Brightener. It will hurt your health. Like, it's not really an if, it's a matter of like when. And so switching to a non-acid wheel cleaner, the problem with a guy like me doing it is I'm seeing cars every day, and a lot of them are hammered. Their wheels look terrible, and I don't need a non-acid cleaner to do its thing, but not do it do it slower or not do it as well. Like, an acidic cleaner is just such a game changer because it works so well. This cleaner you see I'm agitating it. I have been experimenting, spraying it on hammered wheels, that appear to be like the brake disc looks corroded into the metal. I spray it, I let it sit for a couple minutes. I take my pressure washer to that wheel, and it comes out 100%. So I think it's worth a try. I don't work with Automagic or anything like that. I don't know. It could be, again, it is a potential sleeping giant that I have not been aware of. Now, again, I'm agitating it here, and I would suggest agitating it in the inner barrel, not because it won't take care of the inner barrel, but because without a brush on the inner barrel, it's difficult to get all of the areas. If you just use a pressure washer, you can't really fit a pressure washer into those cracks and crevices behind the spokes of the rim. It's like, unless you were to take the wheel off, like that's just unnecessary, you know what I mean? So, all that being said, that's what I'm doing here. That's what it looks like. Here's what it looks like, yada, yada, yada. Now, a lot of guys ask, should I use a pressure washer? Do I need a pressure washer? It's so funny because if you watch my videos, you're going to see that it's rare that I actually pull out my pressure washer. It's not a common thing. And truthfully, that's just because you get so much overspray. If you're not careful, you're going to make your job harder. I'm working on a black car. Luckily, I'm in the shade, and it was a cool day. So there's a lot of variables at work here, but that's why that happened. Now, I know you guys are looking at this going, Luke, look at that foam. It sucks. What are you doing? Okay. I wish I could sometimes I wish I could just answer mass comments. No, this is not a ton of foam. I'm not trying to put a ton of foam on the paint. That was not my intention here. Again, as you guys know, sorry if I'm talking condescendingly, that's not my intention. As you guys know, in the Wilson Auto Detailing community, I almost have kind of an obligation to experiment more than the average detailer because I'm putting out detailing information into the ecosystem. I'm putting out detailing content. You guys have an expectation of me to be constantly learning, constantly experimenting. I have that expectation of myself. This is a way that I constantly learn and I constantly experiment, okay? Now, I don't have this Max Shine foam cannon on full blast as far as foam. There's a little knob at the top. You can twist it left, you can twist it right. Depending on where you twist it will depend on how much foam gets put out onto the car, okay? I don't have it on full blast. My point with that is I experiment with foam cannons in different soaps, and I say what kind of ratios can I use, what setting can I put it on, and what kind of foam will I get, what kind of reaction with the dirt will I get of putting out less foam with more water data. So this is me experimenting, okay? So many times I put out videos like this and people are like, that's no foam, and I'm like, why? Yeah, could you not maybe assume that not everything is an accident? Some things are on purpose. So anyway, just to try to get the confusion fixed, that's what's happening, okay? And throughout the detail here, you guys aren't seeing me do it, but I'm putting it on different settings. Like right here is more foam than you saw before because I was twisting it. I'm testing things, okay? So I am using a soap by a company called AM Details. I will hook up in the description box below several different soaps that I'm using right now that I suggest because I really like them. But just so you know, in the detailing world, as Darren from Auto Fetish Detail would say, more is not always better. And that's true in here. More is not better all the time. I like more foam does not always mean better. In fact, if you guys watch my videos, you know I rarely pull out a foam cannon because I don't really like foam cannons. It's not really practical in the mobile auto detailing world as far as I'm concerned. So it's rare that I actually do what I'm doing, but because of the condition of this car, because of the shade, because of the climate of the day, it made sense. It sped me up. So I washed it by using a sort of Gary Dean method. I know some of you are going to go, you took the microfiber towel and rubbed it on the bottom rocker panels and then you took it back up to the top. I flipped to a new side. Don't freak out. It was a new side. Okay, I dried with my Max Shine Plush, just big drying towel, which I really like. Now I'm dressing the tire with a new dressing. It's a dressing by, I believe, Automagic. It could be Carbright. I'm not sure. These are companies that have been around for years that really supply a lot of the product in the industry. So I'm doing a lot of experimenting with that. But I can't remember what it's called. It was a specific type of dressing. But anyway, it was a water soluble, kind of like Chemical Guys VRP. That's what I would have used really in any other situation. So I will hook up Chemical Guys VRP below. You can't actually get the product that I was using here. It's not open to like a consumer base. I'm using Optimum No Rinse here, diluted 1 ounce to 32 ounces of water as a clay bar lubricant for the windows. I generally clay windows every time. Like, here's the way I see it. Windows are hard enough as it is. So anything that I can do to just like make them easier as far as making my life easier, I'm gonna do it. So even though these windows are like pretty clean already, any little thing that you did not get on the window when you try to shine it up or dress it with like a window shiner or glass cleaner, it's gonna smear, it's gonna show, like every imperfection will show. So I just go ahead and knock windows out to the 9s and prepare them as much as I can, because it's just a way that I make my life easier. You know, it's kind of like looking at black paint that hasn't been maintained in a while, and you go, okay, do I have to clay bar this paint? I don't have to, but if I don't, waxing it is going to be really difficult, and it's going to make my life harder, and it's not going to come out the way I want, and it's going to be mentally frustrating. So a lot of detailing is like, how do I bring down my own mental frustration as I'm getting through cars during the day? And that's just what I'm doing here. So I'm using Bead Maker, and my process here, I'm doing the paint, I'm doing the windows, I'm doing all of this stuff at the same time. By the way, the dressing that I used on the tire from Carbright or Automagic, whatever, I didn't like it that much. So I'm actually going over the tires with More Shine Tire dressing from Stoner, which is a fantastic dressing. I use it all the time. It's like a staple. I still have not found something that I like more than that dressing. So you will note I dressed it with that aerosol can More Shine dressing from Stoner before I started waxing the car, because I'm waxing the car right now with Bead Maker, or I guess sealing the car with Bead Maker. And notice I'm doing the windows and the paint in one. Like, I'm not doing all the paint and then going around doing all the windows. I'm just knocking it out all in one because it can dress all of those surfaces and it just makes my life easier. Notice I did the dressing in the aerosol can before I waxed it. Why did I do that? Great question. Because if you use an aerosol can dressing, you will inevitably get overspray on the paint and on windows, okay? This is not a big deal, but if you are new, you will freak out about it because it looks like you have these freckles all over the paint. And in this situation, I'm dealing with black paint, and black paint sucks, okay? Sucks enough as it is. But when you dress tires and you get overspray, silicone-based dressing overspray on black paint and black windows, tinted windows, it shows up in every capacity. And it can be very frustrating. And, again, if you're new, it can scare you. The truth is, those freckles can be wiped off very simply with a microfiber towel. But my point is, why would I wax the whole car and then dress the tires and then have to go back around the car and wipe off all those freckles from the overspray? Why not just dress the tires first, assume that those freckles and all that overspray is going to get on the black paint, and then it's going to come off naturally as I go around and wax the car, like I'm doing right now, okay? Half of the battle when you're detailing is figuring out your process, figuring out your sequence. It's the unspokens here that are the most, it's like you can know how to detail all day long, but if you don't know process, if you don't know sequence, if you don't understand these more unspoken things, you will fail miserably, okay? So anyway, let me move on to Bead Maker. Bead Maker is fantastic. I love it. People say, Luke, do you like McGuire Spray Wax more? Do you like Bead Maker more? It's hard for me to answer that question. Sometimes in the detailing world, we want these black and white answers. And like, life is normally just not that way. It's not so black and white. But it's not so black and white in the detailing world. I like both of them. Sometimes I find Bead Maker can be more difficult to apply on black paint in the sun, Meguiar's spray wax is very easy to apply onto black paint or whatever color in the sun, okay? Sometimes I find bead maker is hard to apply over the paint when there is overspray from a silicone-based dressing. Sometimes it smears a bit. Meguiar's spray wax does not do that. Bead maker gives an undoubtedly a deeper gloss and kind of a richer shine to the paint, especially on dark paint. Meguiar's spray wax still does a good job, but it definitely doesn't shine it and make it that deep gloss like bead maker does, okay? So, you know what I just thought of? I'm going to do a comparison video of bead maker and Meguiar's spray wax as far as durability goes, because that is going to be interesting. All right. My point here is I'm trying to explain to you the good and the bad of both of them so that you can make your own decision. Honestly, in a lot of ways, I don't look at the Wilson Auto Detailing community as a, hey, let me tell you guys what to do. It's a, hey guys, here's what I do, and here's what I've learned, and now you guys can make your own decisions. Because I don't want to tell you what to do. It's so funny. All these guys call me and they're like, tell me what to do. And I'm like, I don't want to tell you what to do. I'll tell you what I've learned, and then you can make your own decision based on your own critical thinking skills and logic, okay? So I want to tell you something about me doing this hood here that you can't see in the video. This hood has bug etchings, water spots. It's scratched to the nines. It's not in good shape, okay? In the camera, things get over-flattered, under-flattered. It's just what it is, okay? So the paint is going to look better than it really does in person. And part of the battle here is, especially with black paint, and the reason I say, hey, go ahead and do a clay bar on the black paint is because once you clay it, anything that's left is going to more than likely be damage, a correction issue, okay? It's not a detailing, cleaning issue. So I can, in good conscience and with a good attitude, seal this hood and go, hey, everything that I'm sealing in here, these bug etchings, these things, the rock chips, that's not my problem, and that's not my fault. This is just the natural results of a daily driver, okay? A lot of what I remember when I was beginning in the detailing world, when I was like a 13-year-old kid, was I would detail these big, Tahoes like this, and I'd get so down on myself, like trying to perfect the paint. So like I would take a hood like this, and I'd get so insecure even with my customer and be like, yeah, so this is, why this is here, and I couldn't get this out, and I couldn't get this out. And I would like take responsibility for something that wasn't even my responsibility. It's like a bug etching, a water spot, a rock chip, like those are going to be on every single car no matter what you do, and it's not you. Like, that's not a detailer issue. So I hope I kind of want to crush that lie or insecurity on this channel, because I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but it really was hard for me when I was beginning, because it was like, why can't I fix this stuff? Why does the paint... I always went in with these huge expectations and came out with disappointed. And it wasn't that my customer was disappointed, it was like I was disappointed. So it's like even more than managing your customer's expectation, learning to manage your own expectation is like 100% of the battle. Like when you can get that in check, oh my gosh, you're cooking. So anyway, that being said, another thing that I'd like to point out here is with these products like Bead Maker and even Meguiar's spray wax, whatever you're using, some of these guys are saying, I would never use that because you're cheating your customer because it doesn't last very long, or it's a spray coating, so it's the least durable. There are better things on the market. Number one, I have posted numerous durability videos with Bead Maker, and even 5 weeks later, it is still beating up water pretty much perfectly, so that's just not factually true. And number two, I hesitate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. When you see detailers online, I'm putting quotes around detailers online, tell you, I would never use Bead Maker, I would never use, you're cheating your customer. You should be skeptical as to whether or not they actually own and operate an auto detailing business, okay? Be skeptical. I am learning to have to be skeptical because people that I actually trusted online who even told me they were detail and gave me a big story about how they are 20 years into the business, lied to my face. And I had no idea. And I was totally a sucker. And I'm not saying be cynical or like live that way. What I'm saying is you have to filter who you take advice from and ask the right questions. And I'm learning that as well. And I'm giving you guys real detailing world bits of wisdom. These are things that I actually do in my actual detailing business, with the actual cars that I detail, with the actual customers I talk to, with the actual money that I make in a detailing business, like with the actual tools that I own. It's just like, you guys know, you see different cars in all my videos. You know I run a detailing business. Like, there's no question. You see I do customer interviews. I show you my detailing setup. I show you all my tools. I wear Wilson Auto Detailing t-shirts. I wear my company t-shirts. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you could probably look up. It's probably public records. Wilson Auto Detailing Co. is the name of my business. It's registered with the state. So my point is just, be skeptical of people who say, I would not use bead maker on a car. You're cheating your customer. People like that have probably never detailed all day in the sun and have to see multiple cars in a day. They probably do not operate a detailing business. They are probably on the forums or on YouTube, whatever. I won't continue in that because I don't think it's my place to expose anybody, but I just am trying to give you the best information because I'm concerned about you guys. Here's the final result for you guys to see. This is an actual detail from an actual customer, from somebody who actually paid me, from a car that I actually saw. And this is what the finished result looks like. So, guys, thank you so much for being involved in the community. If you want to check out the products and tools I used here, check out the YouTube description box below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.